You didn't just get hurt in that relationship, you hurt yourself over and over again. And somewhere deep down, you knew you were doing it. You saw the signs, you felt the distance, you noticed when they stopped showing up the way they used to. And still, you stayed. You tried harder. You made yourself smaller. You gave more. Not because you didn't know better, but because some part of you believed that if I love them enough, they'll finally give me what I need. And that right there, that's not love. That's a pattern. And today, we are going to break it. I want you to think about the last time you felt let down by someone you loved. Maybe they cancelled some plan on you, they cancelled on you. Maybe they said something that stung. Maybe they just weren't there. And what did you do? Did you get upset and then you quickly softened it because you didn't want to push them away? Did you tell yourself that they are going through a lot even when you were going through a lot too? Did you hold your hurt quietly and then work twice as hard to keep the peace? If you're nodding, I need you to hear this. You were not loving them, you were abandoning yourself. And the painful irony is this: every time you did that, you were also handling them the power to determine your worth. This is self-abandonment loop, and it is one of the most common patterns I see in the individuals I work with. Let's understand the science behind it. Here's what's happening in your brain when the pattern runs. Your nervous system learned very early, possibly in your childhood, that love requires effort. That connection is something you earn, not something you simply receive. So when a relationship feels unstable, your brain doesn't say this person isn't right for me. Your brain says try harder. Neuroscientists after neuroscientists, they have shown us that brain doesn't distinguish easily between emotional pain and physical pain. Rejection activates the same neural pathway as physical hurt, which means your body is literally in survival mode when that relationship feels threatened. And in survival mode, you don't think clearly, you don't assess, you react, you reach, you apologize for things that weren't your fault, you minimize your needs, you convince yourself that needing less will make me more lovable. And here's the kicker: thanks to neuroplasticity, every time you run this pattern, you are reinforcing it. You are literally wiring your brain to repeat it. Hebb's principle: neurons that fire together wire together. So, this isn't a character flaw, it's a neural groove, a deep worn path. And here's the good news: what was wired can be rewired. I want you to try something with me right now. Close your eyes if you can, or just soften your gaze. I want you to bring your mind to a moment, a specific moment, where you choose to love them over yourself. You swallowed something, where you made yourself smaller. Notice how your body felt. Where did you feel it? Your chest, your throat, your stomach? Where? I want you to ask yourself, what did I actually need in that moment? Not what did I want from them. What did I need from me? Maybe it was a permission to be honest. Maybe it was someone to say your feelings are valid. Maybe it was just a moment of stillness instead of scrambling. Here's the pattern shift: the love you were chasing for them is the love you stopped giving yourself. And the moment you start becoming the person who meets your own needs first, you validate your own feelings, you hold your own boundaries with care, and everything changes. Not because you become cold or close, but because you stop outsourcing your wholeness to someone who was never meant to carry it. You stop breaking your own heart, hoping someone else will fix it. You become the one who fixes it. Imagine what it would feel like 6 months from now to be in a relationship, or even just in your daily life, where you are not constantly second guessing your worth, where you don't shrink before someone has even asked you to, where you can feel something difficult and instead of abandoning yourself, you stay with yourself. That is not a fantasy. That is what happens when the pattern shifts. And if you recognize yourself somewhere in the video, in the reaching, the overgiving, the quiet self betrayal, I want you to know that recognition is not shame. That recognition is a beginning. The link to book a free clarity call with me is right below this video. It's a space for us to look at what pattern is running for you and what shifting it could look like. No pressure, no pitch, just clarity. And if this landed for you today, share it with someone who needs to hear it, because sometimes the most loving thing we can do is hand someone the mirror. I'll see you in the next one.